kind. It's Anna Jo's heart that drives her. It's her heart that makes her unrelenting. She cannot bear to see any child not have the opportunity to fulfill their promise and potential.
And that kindness shone through everything that she did. And whether it was my friendship with her or her friendship with others or her relationship with powerful people, that kindness shone through all the time.
I would say warrior. And I think in the old traditions, the warrior was the protector of children and women. And I think that she has played that role across the state, and she will be remembered because of her deep commitment to making sure that every child has a decent head start and that women have the power and the authority and the ability to create a society that reflects our values.
You know, the word that popped into my head, the one word is fierce. That woman is fierce. She is unstoppable, unmovable. When something needs to be done, she gets it done. But she also brings everyone along with her. She'll tell you she didn't do it all by herself, but she sure rallied the forces. She was the force behind all the things that we're doing.
Anna Jo Garcia Haynes, and I'm President Emeritus at Mile High Early Learning.
So let's talk about where it all began.
Well, I'm a Denver native, lived here all of my life. And I was born on what is now the Auraria campus, which wasn't a campus at that point, it was a neighborhood. I was there for about close to 4 years. And after that, our family moved to Northeast Denver. And that's where I've spent the rest of my life. My father couldn't find a job, and so we were in a lot of trouble and had to go on welfare. So I grew up as a kid who had to bear with being on welfare because it was difficult. But we did. The kind of love that comes when you're having difficulty, I think, is very special, and I think it has a real impact on how you grow up.
Tell us about advocating for women, children, historically marginalized individuals. Why is that your passion?
It started with B. Romer, who was the wife of our governor. And when Head Start was started at the national level, they called him and said, would you be willing to do Head Start in Denver? And he said, well, let me think about it and I'll call you back. And so he immediately called his wife, who was running a preschool in Park Hill already. And he said, do you think we can do it? And she said, of course we can. So we rolled up our sleeves, called every woman we knew in our communities and said, would you be willing to help with this project? And we got help from all over the city of Denver. It was just wonderful. And so that's how I got started in early childhood and have been in it, my entire career.
You have a long and vast history of standing hand in hand with other women to support them in activating their voice. You are a mentor, you have sponsored women into roles of leadership. How does mentorship and sponsorship help women succeed?
Those who had the opportunity, for instance, to be a part of Head Start or any other organization I worked with, I always said to them, you have a voice and it can only be heard when you use it. And you've proven that. You're working with your own kids, and so you do well there. There isn't any reason why you can't step forward and do this.
Who would you say has been that person for you?
B. Romer was when we started Head Start. I mean, she thought I could do it. I didn't know I could do it, but I had been working with the Head Start mothers and encouraging them, that they could do it. So she was an incredible mentor for me.
Mentorship is so important, especially in communities of color. When we look at early childhood, it's still a predominantly white field. So when you come in as a person of color, especially in Colorado, you need help navigating this very complex network. And when you look at just the things that Anna Jo has done, from Head Start to Children's Campaign to Early Milestones Colorado to the Consolidated Pilots Program to the Early Childhood Councils to all of the legislation and advocacy, it will make your head spin if you don't know how to navigate it. So the way that Anna Jo mentored me, I have dedicated my life to mentoring others.
Without Anna Jo, we would not have the early childhood programs that we have in Colorado today. She has been the mother of that movement. But I would also like to point out that Anna Jo, throughout her lifetime, with her own children and with all of the children she saw in the community, including myself, she saw herself as a mentor, as a supporter, and as an advocate.
What are you most proud of?
Well, it's the bill that got passed to do the department that Lisa Roy is now the head of. I mean, it took that many years of telling them how important it was to help kids start right. Critically important. That's what I've lived my whole life around that. And so it finally happened, and it passed.
That's huge.
It's huge. It took a lot of people helping to make that happen.
She didn't know myself or my children when she advocated for United Way to have additional funding so that families wouldn't fall off the cliff. My husband made $5 too much for me to qualify for subsidy, and yet we didn't make enough for 3 children to be in childcare. She didn't know me, like I said, from Eve or Adam, but she advocated for that policy. And as a result of that, I was able to finish my degree. The first job that I had right out of college was running the home instruction for parents of preschool youngsters. Little did I know that Happy Haynes, her daughter, advocated for that program. And then when my children were of age, she was a support and a mentor to them as well. So I can't imagine someone in my life that's had more of an impact from beginning to end with my own children and making sure they succeed.
I admire that to this day, Anna Jo has not given up.
She does the hard work that's necessary in order to build a coalition, not just a network, that cares about children in the state.
If you had to impart something to the next generation of women aspiring to lead, aspiring to shake things up, what would your advice to them be?
I would just say, if you think something is important, don't sit on it. Go for it. You can do it. If there's some change that needs to be made or somebody that you can help, because that helps you as well. Anytime you help somebody, it helps you.
There's nothing more satisfying than the kind of life Anna Jo has led. To be able to have brought forth this kind of environment for children in our state, to bring forth this idea of women, to elevate women as child care people and teachers and those of us that nurture children. And so I think the role of the elder is to hold that basket for community and to bring together all the generations so that we can move forward.
When people ask me what I do and what I am, I'm an advocate. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I've been doing all these years in lots of different ways, but it's all about moving on to the next place and moving something forward, because I think that's what we're here for, is to make sure that things are good as they can be, and that you're a part of helping that happen.
Absolutely.
There's an African word, Ubuntu, and it means I am because you are. And I am because Anna Jo is. She has just breathed life into me as a leader. She has set an example and a bar so high that we should all aspire to be there.